When you are a foster parent, you open your home and your life to children in need of stability. But when children move on, there can be a profound sense of loss. International foster care expert, author, and father Dr. John DeGarmo spoke in Springfield recently at a Center for Human Development sponsored event addressing this very issue and the need for more foster parents nationally. Carolee McGrath has more.
So I've been working with the foster parents of CHD, great program, and talking to them about feelings of grief and loss, just as you said. You know, so many people say to me, Dr. John, I can't do what you do. It would hurt too much to give the kids back, which I believe you actually said to me just a moment ago. And I tell them that's exactly how it's supposed to be. You know, children in foster care need stability, they need security, but what they need more than anything else is for me to love them unconditionally. They come to my house and I love them with all that I have. So that when they do leave my home, yes, absolutely, my heart breaks, it rips, I cry, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity to cry for these kids because I might be the first person who has ever cried for that child. I might be the first person who's ever loved that child so much that I experience those feelings, those deep feelings of grief. It's like losing a member of my own family, because it is. When these children come to my home, they become a member of my family. There's no adoptive, there's no biological, there's no foster child label. They're all my children. They're my family, and I love them unconditionally.
Let's talk about your family, though. You have a big family. And,
well, I do a little bit, yeah.
And, of course, you have fostered many children over the years. Tell us about your family.
Well, I have 3 children biologically. I've adopted 3 children from foster care. I have had 4 failed adoptions, so I've had that side of it as well. And I've had over 55 kids come through my family during the past 15 years, as young as 27 hours of age and as old as 18 years of age, and everything in between.
And how has that worked with your children when you started to bring kids in? Like, how does the family dynamic change? How do you act when these kids come in? And how do you instruct your kids to act?
That's a great question. So we've been doing it for about 16 years. My oldest child is 21. So for my own kids, it's their norm. Mm-hmm. It's their norm, it's normal lifestyle. When a child is placed in my home, these children are scared. They don't want to be in my home. Yeah, I can provide that stability and that security and wonderful opportunities, but at the end of the day, they're taken from their mother, their father, sometimes their siblings, or stuffed animals, or toys, everything they know, sometimes late at night, without any explanation. And they're thrust into my home without any explanation, with questions. Why am I here? When do I go home? When do I see mommy next? Is it my fault that daddy hits me? Whatever it may be. And they're terrified. They're terrified, and they cry themselves to sleep. So there is anxiety just being placed into a foster home because it's a time of great uncertainty. So I often meet that uncertainty and anxiety with just tremendous patience, compassion, understanding, love, and time. You know, we greet them and we introduce ourselves as Mr. John and Miss Kelly, my wife, does. We give them a tour of the home. We allow them to play with their own children and some of the animals. And then we just surround them in as much love as we can give them, answer their questions. But then again, we understand they are afraid.
But do you try to just make them part of the family as quickly as possible? Because I'm sure, like, your own kids would be like, wait, you know, he's treating him better than treating me. Like, you try not to make that differentiation, I'm sure.
No, there's no differentiation. And in fact, my own kids will instantly start playing with them. Or my older children will feed the babies. They love the babies. My younger kids may play with the younger ones. It's a wonderful melting pot, if you will. And we have been blessed to have all shapes, colors, and sizes come through the home.
And what's the end goal? I mean, we talk about, you know, loss and grief. So you could have a child for a month, a year, and 2 years?
Longer. The end goal of foster care is reunification, when the birth parents are able to take care of their case plan and have a wonderful opportunity of reunifying with a child. That's always the end goal. The parents are able to go through their parenting classes. And so for so many biological parents, birth parents, they are suffering from their own pain, their own abuse. 2 of the 3 children I've adopted are 3rd generation foster care, which means their parents and their grandparents were also in foster care, so the cycle just continued. It's generational. So they're suffering from their own pain, and they don't know how to parent. So we help them. We co-parent with them to help them parent their own children. And then there's reunification. But sadly, for so many children, that doesn't happen. And so many children age out of the system. There are so many children in foster care right now, due mainly to the opioid crisis. Many states are seeing their numbers double, in fact.
Let's talk about the shortage of foster families. Obviously, we're dealing with that up here in Massachusetts and all over the country. You're from Georgia. What are the numbers looking like in your state?
Where I live in the state of Georgia, there were 7,000 children in foster care 2 years ago, and now at the end of 2018, we're looking at 17,000 children, mainly due to the opioid crisis. When these parents who are addicted to opiates, when they're being placed in hospitals, when they're being placed in jail, and when they're dying, where do these children go? They're being placed into a foster care system that is struggling to contain these children. There's simply not enough homes. Foster parenting is a very, very challenging job, and there are so many myths and misconceptions about foster parenting that I'm trying to bring awareness to.
All right, so let's talk about some of those myths. I mean, what do you think that people, like, their first reaction is when you say, you know what, I'm a foster parent?
You must be crazy. You know what? That's kind of true. You got to be a little bit crazy to do what we do because it's not a normal lifestyle. It's very full on, 24 hours, 7 days a week, but it's so rewarding. Sure, it's the hardest thing I've done, but it's the most rewarding thing I've done. Some people believe that foster parents are in it for the money, so to speak. Absolutely not. We get reimbursement. There's a reimbursement, but it's a very small reimbursement. It helps us to cover the food and perhaps the diapers and clothing. But I'm rich in love. I'm rich in memories. I'm rich in adventure. Those are some of the misconceptions that people have about foster parents. Some believe that the children in foster care are in homes that are unsafe. You know, I feel just the opposite. I have found foster parents here in Massachusetts and across the nation are people who just want to help a child in need.
And let's talk a little bit about kids who are teenagers, because I think, as a mother of two teenagers, I think that is probably the most heartbreaking age, because by the time you're at that age, you probably don't trust anybody, right?
Right.
And you
Right.
probably don't want to give somebody like me a hug, you know, who walking in the door after a bad situation. Right. How do you encourage, number one, families to open up their homes to teenagers, and what kind of hope do they have, like, to come out of that situation?
We just had two teenage boys in our house, both 17 years of age. Both were homeless, and we helped them, brought them in our home, and we helped them with social skills, with living skills, preparing them to go on to life after high school. But for so many kids, no child wants to be a foster child. No child wants to be in the system. They all want to get out. There's a misconception about children in foster care. So it is more difficult, I have found, with the teenagers because they have that anger, they have those identity issues, and of course they're also struggling with their own identity and future, and sure, issues of trust, issues of attachment. If they've gone from home to home to home, who do they trust? They don't know me. I'm a stranger, and they may resist attachment as well. So it can be a very difficult time, but it can also be a very rewarding time too. I watched two children along with my own daughter. So we had three seniors last year in our household, and it was really fun to watch. Really fun to watch.
And those kids are going off to college next year?
All three of them are, yeah. Now, sadly, the statistics for youth in foster care are grim. 55% who age out of foster care will drop out of school. 65% will end up homeless. 75% will end up in jail at some point. And the system just continues. So foster parents like myself were able to hopefully break those cycles.
And how do you encourage people up in Massachusetts, you know, to really consider this as a choice for their family?
You know, it has been a wonderful adventure. Every child that's come through my home, every single child has made me a better husband, a better parent, a better member of the community, and a better person overall. It's been the most rewarding thing I've ever done. Sure, there are challenges every day, but my own family has been strengthened. I believe my own biological children and adoptive children are also have become better people as well. They've all learned, hopefully, the opportunity and the need to serve other people. So if anybody's considering becoming a foster parent, I encourage them to contact CHD or a Department of Family and Children Services or whatever it may be, and it can be just a life-changing thing, not only for the child, but for the foster parent as well.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in here and sharing your story with us today and words of encouragement.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.